wait for it. If you are a Violetta fan, like I am, granted I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you are a fan, did you know, because I didn't know this, but did you know that there's actually a movie? Hi everybody, Angel Rose here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today, I've got something exciting. Got some exciting news. If you're a fan of Violetta, keep watching. If not, and you really utterly didn't like it, I'm sorry, but this video is going to be Violetta today. Anyway, for those of you that did not know this, because I didn't know this until 2 days ago, there is a movie about Violetta. Who knew that? Because I didn't know this. This movie came out in 2016 and we are now in 2020, and I only found out about this 2 days ago. Like, what? So I watched the movie last night. Guys, I loved every single second about it. Oh my word, I loved the whole movie. It's amazing. So whoever else who didn't know about this, because I am a huge Violetta fan, I've watched every episode on Disney Channel, and I didn't know this. So I bet you there's a lot of other people out there that didn't know this either. So today, I'm going to be breaking down the movie. I even have cue cards, just so I don't lose my train of thought with this, because there's a lot to say and I don't want to get jumbled all over the place with it. So I have made cue cards. That's how dedicated I am to this, because I know there's a lot of people that don't know about the movie and will want to know what it's about. So one thing I must say quickly, the movie is translated into English. I watched the English one last night. It's amazing. What's so nice about the movie though is the music that's over in the movie is their own voices singing. So there's no voiceovers of English. It's their songs, it's their voices, everything. Sorry, so that's amazing, and it just adds that more personal touch to the whole thing. And that you feel more like connected to the movie and feel all the feels of what's happening, even though you can't really understand what's being said in the music. But you can understand what's happening just by how they're acting and all that. I'm talking a lot with my hands on table. Whatever, I'm going to start holding the cue card. So, let's start. So, a few cast members are back in the movie. Not all of them, and definitely not a lot of them. Just a few of them are back. And then there are also some familiar new faces. So there'll be a few faces that'll pop up that are new to the Violetta world, but you know who they are. So that's true. So the movie starts off with Violetta playing the guitar and writing a new song. As she is busy writing, a gust of wind blows her pages away and she's running after her pages. All of a sudden, Leon shows up riding a white horse like Prince Charming. I've got to be honest, it was like a Prince Charming moment coming there. And then he was like, what's wrong? And he's like, my pages, they flew away. He's like, don't worry, I'll get them. So as he's riding off into the sunset, Violetta shouts out, pleading with him to stay, like, please, Leon, don't leave me alone. She then wakes up on the plane, and her manager's with her, and he's like, what's wrong? And she's like, it's just a bad dream. She then reaches for her phone to call Leon, but she realizes she's on a plane. She can't call on a plane. So then her manager then says, oh, don't worry. So she says, I need rest and I want to call Leon. And he said, Leon's busy recording new music in LA. He's really busy. So Violetta has just come back from a 12-country tour. So she's been gone for 4 months. And now she's back home. And then her manager says she's only got 2 days rest, and then she's got to record a brand new album. And she's like, how am I going to do that? I haven't been able to write music for 4 months already. So since she went away, she hasn't been able to write new music. She hasn't had any inspiration to write it. So he says, don't worry, we're going to get someone else to write the album. And she's like, what? That's not what I want. I want to be able to write my own music and sing my own music. I don't want somebody else writing the album for me. And he says, no, relax. Lots of artists do it. It's fine. So once she gets to the airport, she is then bombarded and swarmed with fans and paparazzi. She then meets Angie at the airport, and as they're walking to the car, someone shoves a magazine in Violetta's face. And once she sees the headlines say, "Looks like Leon's moved on from Violetta with Melanie." Now, can you see who Melanie is? It's Sophia Carson. So that is your first familiar new face in. So you may know Sophia Carson from Descendants. So she appears in this movie. So that was really good when I saw her. I love Sophia Carson. So when she appeared in the movie, I was just like, oh my word, it's Sophia Carson. Like, yay! So she appears in the movie and she plays Melanie. So Violetta is in the car and she is like mortified. She's like, what am I reading? Everybody else knew about this and they didn't want to say anything to her because they wanted to protect her. Before Violetta even has like a second thought, she picks up a phone and phones Leon. Leon is in the recording studio recording new music, so Melanie picks up the phone. So she asks, where's Leon? So Melanie doesn't tell Violetta that Leon is recording music. She says he's in the shower. Before Violetta has even time to process everything, she's thrown into a TV interview and is then asked about the new relationship of Leon and Melanie and how she feels about it. They then play this video and she's utterly mortified. And she then phones Herman. And Herman stops his meeting to watch what's happening. And he is just like, oh my word, Violetta's manager is like all over the place. We didn't agree with this. Why are you playing this? It's personal. It shouldn't be here. After that, they then ask Violetta about new music. And Violetta is just keeping it together. I felt it. I felt the lump in my throat. I was like, oh my word, why are they showing this? She keeps it together just enough to say, you know what, I'm retiring. There's no new music, no new tour. I'm retiring. The moment she gets a chance, she locks herself in a dressing room and cries, and Angie is trying to get her out, but Angie doesn't get out. Eventually, they get home, and Herman and Angie then decide that it's best that Violetta goes somewhere where she can find herself. So while Violetta's in her room, we then have Ludmilla, who makes an appearance. Ludmilla arrives at the airport and the first thing she sees on the TV is the headlines of Leon and Melanie. She immediately picks up her phone and FaceTimes Violetta and asks her, like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And, and then she tells Ludmilla when she phoned Leon what Melanie said and all that. And she said, don't worry, it's going to be okay. So Herman and Angie decide it's time for Violetta to find herself in Italy. I'll tell you a little bit later why Italy specifically. But in Italy, there's a friend of Herman's. Her name is Isabella. So she has this house where, like, a lot of people, of artists who feel like they've lost and want to find themselves, you can go there. But there's a personal touch to why Violetta needs to go to Italy. So she finds herself going to Italy. She packs all her things. Herman and Angie see her off at the airport, and then she arrives in Italy. Once she arrives in Italy, she meets a few other people there as well who are going to the same place. She then meets the boat captain, Caio. Caio's good looking. He's over here. This is Caio. So Caio is actually, his passion is actually dancing, but he can't follow his passions because he has to work because his dad's not around and he has to help support his family, so he can't follow his dreams. So on their boat to where Isabella's place is, Violetta's luggage falls overboard and she loses her cell phone as well, so no one can get a hold of her. But she was like, it's chilled. She didn't really care about it. It's just material things that can be replaced. So they arrive there, and as they arrive there, Isabella comes out, greets them all. She sees Violetta and she's like, hi, Tini, it's been so. She's like, hi, Tini, welcome. Violetta's like, Tini? And then she's like, oh, sorry, I mean Violetta. So later on throughout the movie, we then head back to Ludmilla, who then tries to phone Leon. And as she's about to phone Leon, Melanie picks up the phone again, and this time Ludmilla says that she's Leon's sister. So she says, tell Leon that his sister Ludmilla called and he better phone me back. Melanie is like so scared, and she's like, yo, I better tell Leon that she phoned. So when Leon's done recording, she goes up to Leon and says, hey, your sister phoned. And he's like, my sister? He's like, yeah, your sister Ludmilla. So he's like, okay. Later on throughout the movie, he then phones Ludmilla back, and Ludmilla tells him what all has happened. He's like, and he's basically saying to Ludmilla that she's ridiculous. He's like, no way that Melanie would do that because she's a friend. She would never do that to him. So she says, well, okay, you better decide then. Is it Violetta or is it this music or whatever, your music video that you're busy doing with? He then puts down the phone. Later on, this is actually my favorite part of the movie, is when Violetta is in Italy and she's sitting by the pool, and Leon is at a pool party in LA also sitting at the pool, and Leon is just feeling miserable about himself. He feels terrible. He then gets up and walks to the other side of the pool, and then he and Violetta start singing from different parts of the world. It's just, oh, I love this. I love this part of the movie. It's just so pretty. So obviously the song is in their language that they sing. It's in Spanish, but that just makes it all the more romantic and more personal, and the two of them singing it, it's just amazing. You guys need to watch it. It's really pretty. So after that, Leon then he picks himself up and he's like, I need to go and find Violetta. So he goes to find Violetta. Now he and Ludmilla are trying so hard for Herman to tell them where Violetta is, and he's just not giving up because Violetta told him, don't tell anybody where I am, whoever are. In the meantime, Violetta is busy trying to find herself in Italy. So she finds a piano that Isabella shows her. It says, it's just been waiting for someone like you to play it. So she starts figuring out how she can write the song. She's always struggling and so on. And then Isabella asks her, like, what could you do then to make it? She says, I wish I could take this piano to the moon. So later on, with the help of these people that she finds here at the place, same place as Isabella's. Now, can you guys tell me who this is? This is Leonardo Kicci. I hope I'm saying that right. So you might know him from Alex. You might know him as Alex in Alex & Co. So he also plays in the movie. So that is our other familiar new face in the movie. So he plays from Alex & Co. So you'll see him over there. So with the help of these people, they then decide to take the piano and move it all the way up the hill close to where the moon is. Now let me tell you, that piano is heavy. That was not easy. That was not an easy move. And they did it for William because they want to help her. I thought that was really cute that they want to help her like that, and it was really sweet of them to do that. So she then starts playing music. But it's still difficult. She's trying to find herself with it. So they ask her, what do you want to do next? So then she's like, I just want to go out and have fun. So there is a party happening on the beach. So they all dress up and they go to the beach. They then see Kaio there as well, and he's busy dancing. And then she's like, oh my word, you're so good. You should really think of going on. And he says, no, he can't do that. So eventually you go back to Leon. He and Ludmilla try one last time to see if they can get Herman to finally tell them where Violetta is. Eventually, with the persuasion of Angie, say, I think it's time that you tell them where Violetta is. So he tells them where Violetta is, and immediately the two of them come up with a plan of how they're going to get to Italy. So we get back to Italy now again, where Violetta is. So as she's busy in Italy trying to come up with new music and so on, Kaio then says, why don't I show you around? And then I was like, is this not like a date now or something? And he's like, no, it's not a date. It's not a date. Just as friends. So he then shows her around and a bit of Italy. He then takes her to a sign. And the name on the sign is Violetta's mother. So she asks him, like, how did you know it was my mother? And then he said, your mother used to come here all the time and perform. So now Violetta knows why Italy's so special, because her mother used to come here a lot. Because her mother was an artist as well, so a singer, so her mother used to come here a lot. She then goes to Isabella and says that I want to host a showcase. They put on a showcase in there every year for anybody can sign up and do it, so you must just have a new song. So she says she thinks she can write this song and I want to do the showcase. So with the help of everybody, they put up this amazing show and they get it together, and eventually Violetta does start writing new lyrics, and she gets over that because now she's in the fields now, because she feels so close to her mother here, and she eventually finishes the song. So now we head back to Leon and Ludmilla. So they get themselves on the next plane and they get themselves to Italy and so on, and now they're on their way to find Violetta. So now Violetta's been spending a lot of time with Caio. He's been showing her around the area, around the town. So they get closer. So one night, Violetta signs Caio up for an audition in Rome for dance. And she says, you have to take it. So he says he's going to take it. So he says he won't be here for the showcase. So she says no, she understands. So she then says, do you want to hear some of the music? So she starts playing some of the songs, the song on the piano, and he's like dancing in the background. It was like really romantic, but I didn't want the two of them together because Violetta and Leon are life. They are life. They have to always be together because I just love them together. So then as Leon and Ludmilla are getting close to Violetta, they run into a bit of car trouble. And now they're stuck and they need help. Someone comes around with a white horse, riding a white horse. And then Leon immediately asks, can I please borrow your horse? And he's like, yeah, sure. So Leon borrows the guy's horse and he rides off to find Violetta. He gets close to Violetta and he sees Violetta with Caio. Caio starts leaning in closer to Violetta to give her a kiss, and Leon looks away and walks away because he can't bear to see the girl he loves kissing somebody else. So with the result, when Leon walked away, he didn't see that Violetta pulled back before Caio could kiss her and say, I can't. I am still in love with Leon and I don't want to confuse myself or anybody else. So he says no, he understands. So then next day we have Leon walking to the boats and he wants to get off the island. And then he sees Caio and then he says, I want the woman I love to be happy. And then Leon gets on a boat and then there's this island here, a little island close by called the Island of Love, the Island of True Love. And then he gets off there. Then Ludmilla shows up at the house at Isabella's house and finds Violetta, and Violetta is like, Ludmilla, what are you doing here? And then she's like, Leon is here, where is he? And then she's like, Leon's here? And then she's like, yeah, Leon's here, he came here last night, like looking for you. Violetta thought she was dreaming with the guy that was riding on a horse. She thought she was dreaming about that because obviously that was what it was in her dream that she keeps having. So if then she says, oh, I need to go and find Leon. So she starts running off to the docks and she sees Leon in the distance on the boat like that. And then she sees where he's going. So she then gets another little boat, a sailboat, and she sails to the island. But on her way to the island, she gets in a bit of trouble. And she rides into a rock and she falls overboard. Leon sees this, jumps into the water. Can I just say another thing? These guys are really good swimmers in the movie. I can't swim like that. I mean, just dive like that in open water and that water is clear. It's lovely water. But they dive in their water like head first in there. And it's just lovely. So, with the result, he gets to Violetta and he goes under the water and he gets her. And now they're walking back to shore there now of the island, and they tell each other how much they love one another and they're sorry for this whole mishap, and they share a passionate kiss. I mean, look at that. It's like, oh my word, I was like in all the feels in this movie. I felt everything. Meanwhile, Violetta is running late for the concert, the big showcase that's happening. But they have no way to get back. But in the meantime, while Violetta was busy getting over to the island, Ludmilla saw everything and then phoned to get help, to get somebody on a speedboat to then help them. So they get Violetta and Leon, and now on the way she's like trying to fix her, and she's like, this isn't going to work, I can't go on with it. And she's like, no, it's a natural look. So they get to the showcase. She's immediately pulled into hair and makeup, and she's helped by everybody to get ready and things like that. And then eventually she goes on stage. So just before she goes on stage, she looks at Leon and they share a moment. It's like a look. Oh, just amazing. So then they go back. She goes on stage. Now, the reason Violetta was called Tini earlier is because when Violetta was born, that was actually the name her mother gave her. But they couldn't register as Tini, so they had to register as Violetta. So when Violetta's mother died, then nobody called her Tini at all. They just called her Violetta. So as she goes through this whole journey of finding herself, she realizes that Violetta will always be a part of her, but from now on she's going to be called Tini. Now, you guys know that the person who plays Violetta, her real name is Martina, and she goes as Tini. So I kind of felt like the movie was like a goodbye to Violetta. I'd always be a part, but I'm now going to be known as Tini. So it was like it was her life that she was giving away. So I think it was really good to have done that. So she gets on stage and she sings the song that she's now been trying so hard. It took her 4 months to write. She then performs the song, and it's an amazing song. And then she says, I am Tini. So she tells everybody that I'm now no longer Violetta, I'm Tini. So that is really touching to see, that she's honoring her mother, and she says she's never felt more closer to her mother than what she does now with this name, and she's now going to go on with this name. So can I just say the movie was amazing. So guys, I would really recommend you guys to go and watch this movie. Like, it was amazing. I loved every single moment of it. If you guys are wondering where you can watch it, I watched it on 123 Movies. But what you can do is you can just type in Tini-The movie and just say English and see where you can watch it. There might be different places you can watch it. Apparently somebody says it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's on Netflix. I don't have Netflix, so I didn't watch it from there. I just watched it on 123 Movies. So you guys can watch it there too. So yeah, I hope you guys are going to enjoy this movie. Guys, if you watch it, please let me know in the comment section what you guys think about it. Like, if you have watched it, if you're going to watch it, please let me know what you guys think about it, because I love the movie. So I want to know what everybody else thinks about it. So love you guys. Thank you all so much for watching my video. Please click the subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up. And please, only positivity in the comment section below. I mean, we're going through a really tough time right now. So we really need to spread the positivity and the kindness wherever we can. So I love you guys all so much.